Hi, I'm Denise, and I'm here to show you how to make a cookie bouquet. We're going to make a holiday cookie bouquet today, but cookie bouquets are fun any time of the year, actually. It's basically a cookie on a stick, and you turn it into a big potted decoration, which can be a centerpiece on your holiday table, and then the fun part is at the end of the meal, you can give all the cookies away, and kids love that part. So the first thing you need to do is start with hot cookies right out of the oven. These are some sugar cookies. You can actually see my video on how to make them. And once they come out of the oven, you transfer them to a baking sheet, and you want to take skewers of varying sizes so that your cookie bouquet looks its best at the end. And you just quickly insert the skewer right into the cookie. Try to find a good thick spot to put the stick in, and try to make sure that it doesn't come out of the top of the cookie or out of the bottom of the cookie. So after you have your stick in the cookie, you want to let those cool on a rack, and just about 10 minutes will do it. If for any reason your cookies got too cool before you put a stick in, you can always pop them back in the oven for a few minutes and heat them back up, and you should have some good luck getting the stick in then. So now we're going to go ahead and decorate them. So these cookies are all cooled, and I'm going to go ahead and start decorating them. You can see there's a lot of different decorating options when it comes to any kind of cookie, let alone holidays. I'm going to show you a couple of basic techniques that'll get you through most of this batch. I'm going to start with this snowflake cookie, and I'm going to take some royal icing, which I've already prepared, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. Royal icing should always be covered unless you're working with it. You can watch the royal icing video that I made if you want to get the recipe. And you want to put a flood coat on a cookie like this. So I'm going to go ahead and just spoon some on with this offset spatula, and I'm going to try to get it right into the corners, working pretty quickly so that this is all done rapidly, and I'll show you why that's important in just a moment. I actually made my first cookie bouquet a bunch of years ago when my mom won a gardening award in Chicago, and I didn't know what to send her to say congratulations. I couldn't send flowers, that would be crazy. So I actually thought, well, I'm a chef, I should be able to make her something. And so I baked her a garden cookie bouquet, and I actually planted it in a cute little watering can. It was very clever. So definitely use your imagination when you're making these. I've got my flood coat on, and that flood coat, you'll see, is important on most of these cookies. It'll come up again on the gingerbread guy and on the Star of David. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pipe my decorations. I'm going to put a circle at the center, and I'm going to just draw a line all the way here to the end. This is really fun. I need a skewer. So what I'm going to do is now take these lines that I've made and go ahead and make the snowflake effect. So you just go back and forth really fast, and you kind of blur each line. And that kind of gives you the shimmer that a snowflake might have. And you can really be creative when you're doing this. This is a good technique on a lot of different cookies. On a heart cookie that I make little dots, and then I pull them into heart shapes, which is very clever. So now I'm going to go ahead and do some detail at the end here. Let's see, that's pretty snowflakey. Just to add a little bit of shimmer, I'm going to take some white sanding sugar, and on a separate piece of parchment paper, I'm going to go ahead and dust it. And then you tap off the extra. And then what you can do is you can recapture your unused sugar. Terrific. Now also what you can do, you can either do this as part of the cookie, or you can do it before you do the sugar. You can do a little extra detail here on the edge. This will really sort of make the shape of the snowflake pop. I'm using this piping bag holding my dominant hand, and I'm guiding it with my non-dominant hand, and I'm only pressing from the back. So there's our snowflake. I need 3 piping colors for this. I have a white, a green, and a red. And I have some cute little hearts, which we'll give him. I'm going to go ahead and do his eyes and his mouth first. A big smile. And then you just need to... you can see it, by the way, that I put a flood coat of brown on. I need a little spot right here to hold the heart in place. And now all he needs is a scarf. So I'm going to add some red detail here around his neck. And then I'm going to draw a couple of quick lines like this. And then while the red is still wet, I'm going to go ahead and add the green. And then at the bottom, we'll just make a little quick scarf fringe here. So there's one guy. And this is actually a really simple shape to do. This is a Star of David. You could also do any other star. And what I really like about a shape that's simple like this is you can really use the shape of the cookie as your guide. So first I do an outline here after I've flooded the cookie. When you're doing these cookies, you have a choice of doing it all in one layer, this wet look like this, or you can see here it's dry, the base coat is dry, and then the top coat pops out a little bit. I only had to let that dry for about a half an hour before I was able to do it. So now I'm going to go ahead and add that, and now I'm going to add one interior line. If your piping bag gets a little bit old and crusty, you can just take a pair of scissors and clip the end off, and it'll give you a fresh start. Let's fix that little spot up. Alrighty. So our cookies are all set. We're going to let these dry. While the base coat only needs about a half an hour to dry before you put a top coat on, the cookies, if you're going to turn them into a cookie bouquet, they need a long drying time. A good couple of hours or overnight is really recommended because you don't want your beautiful artwork to smear. So let's go ahead and get started on putting these cookies in a container. So now that our cookies are dry, we can go ahead and build the bouquet, which is my favorite part. First, you need a piece of floral foam, like this from the craft store. It cuts really easily with a serrated knife. You can really plant these in any vessel. I love using terracotta pots, but this time of the year, we're going to look for something festive. I'm putting some basket excelsior on top of it. Sometimes I've gotten some really great packing excelsior that works well, too. Now that our floral foam is covered, what we can do is start planting the cookies. I like to take one of the bigger cookies that's middle-sized and put it in the middle to sort of anchor the bouquet. And then I will build it out front. If your cookies are going to sit out for a little while, like if you make them ahead, especially since the holidays are so busy, you might want to consider bagging the cookies individually in a cellophane bag and putting a twist tie on them. You can sort of tape the edges back so that they still look good, and that'll actually keep them fresher a lot longer. So let's keep planting our cookies here. I have to put the gingerbread people somewhere near the gingerbread house. There we go. Making cookies is a great project to do with kids. Cookie bouquets are fun too because they get to actually see their work. My 4-year-old, 7-year-old, and 9-year-old daughters made these cookie bouquets, and they really can make full use of the materials, eat the sprinkles. It's all fun. So let's see. The taller sticks go in the back, and the shorter sticks go up front, and that allows you to see all of the cookies at once. If you do them all on short sticks, your cookies are going to block each other. See if we need any last minute adjustments. Oh, he's a little out of place. Go that way. If one of your cookies breaks off the stick while you're making this, the royal icing is actually glue-like. And if you just turn the cookie over and put the stick where it was and glue it with your piping bag and leave it a good couple of hours, there's a really good chance you could get it back into your cookie bouquet. So there you have it. It's our holiday cookie bouquet. Hope you have fun baking.